Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So currently, it is June 24th. We have our first presidential debate in 3 days. We got the RNC coming up in about 3 weeks, and early voting is going to be starting in about 3 months. And the election day, election night, which will determine the fate of our nation as we know it, is going to be taking place in just a little bit over 4 months from tonight. And it's been a while since we've last done one of these videos. This is not a prediction. We're going to be taking the polls, taking recent polls, the polling aggregate, go state by state, alphabetical order. What do the polls say now? Donald Trump, he's been hit with a felony conviction, they say, but his numbers nationally have gone up by 0.1% in the RCP aggregate and in many state polls, which, again, the national popular vote doesn't matter so long as you get to 270. But Biden could probably win the popular vote by 3 and still lose the election, which is crucial when you look at the grand scheme of things here, because Donald Trump, he's in a very, very, very solid position to go out there and win, because he never really led the popular vote, but he's led in the popular vote going all the way back to September. He's led for almost 9 months, it seems, over Biden consistently, when he didn't even lead for a combined 7 days before. So that's absolutely huge, especially 2020 was a total mess. But the summer response bias is another thing, because you look at it, usually you can go back all the way. I went back to 2008. Democrats see a surge in June, no matter what, whether you could say that there's something to explain it or there's nothing to explain it. It's always been that way. But Donald Trump, you might be able to rationalize a bump, especially because of the conviction. It hasn't moved the needle at all. It hasn't. And you could say, well, Rasmussen's in the aggregate. True, but there were other right-leaning pollsters that were in the aggregate then that have fallen out, like Harris X Forbes, like Harvard-Harris, both of which are absent from the aggregate, and you see Trump gaining in a lot of these liberal polls too, like Marist, CBS, Morning Consult, that flipped back to a tie today. So nationally, so far, looks good for Trump in the popular vote, especially because national polls usually are not that inaccurate. 2020 was the rare exception, and they underestimated Trump. So we're going to fill this map out going state by state, but first I do have to tell you guys about our very good friends over at My Patriot Supply. And many of you guys might not believe this, but if you think you're prepared, you should probably be taking note from millennials and Zoomers, because they're doing something right. Research is showing that they're more prepared than other generations, from their saving accounts to emergency stockpiles. So you guys have no excuse, regardless of whatever generation you fall in. If you're not preparing, you're failing. So you can get started with My Patriot Supply. Since 2008, they've helped millions of Americans gear up for emergencies, and today they're popular. 4-week emergency food kits can't stay out of customers' carts. You can get yours right now at preparewithredeagle.com. You can buy in bulk. They're on sale. You have nothing to lose. Each food kit offers over 2,000 calories a day. Plus, with ultra-durable 4-layer packaging, it lasts up to 25 years in storage. You got all this delicious food. Some people that I know, they reach out to me, they DM me, they live off of this stuff. It's very nutritional. The Biden economy, some people are turning to this, and you could save $50 off each one. You got 2,000 calories a day, free shipping included. It seems like the younger generations are the ones that are sensing that something is coming. And honestly, it must be soon. You just don't know what it's going to be. You got no time to waste. So stock up on these kits at preparewithredeagle.com. That's preparewithredeagle.com, because you can never be too prepared. So we have the map here. We've got 50 states, 538 electoral votes, 270 to win. Let's fill this thing out. We're going to go state by state. We're going to start off with Alabama and Alaska. Both of these states, there's no RCP aggregate, it seems, but again, safe Republican states, Donald Trump already on the board at 12-0. Then we have Arizona, which there is an RCP aggregate for it. Donald Trump is leading by 5.6 percentage points. That's a likely margin. That's like reverting back to the days of Romney and McCain, who was from the state. You're seeing that with Donald Trump. They said Trump would be the end of Republicans in Arizona. Apparently not so far. It's still going to be a competitive state. I don't know if he's going to win it by that margin, but you like to see the lead you do. Arkansas, you have Donald Trump winning by a safe margin. Then you have the state of California, to which nobody's surprised. Joe Biden is winning by a safe margin, even though he's below 60% in every single poll, which is intriguing. And that will give Biden a big electoral prize there of about one less electoral vote than last cycle due to the census. You have Colorado, which polls show actually being closer than people expect. I'm going to put this one in the likely blue column. You average it all out, seems to make sense. Then you have Connecticut, where Joe Biden, the latest poll, Emerson, long time ago, but he's only up by 9. And you could say, well, the previous poll has him up by more than that, but again, it's the same poll, so we got to go off the last poll there. Delaware, we have one poll, Biden's home state, but Trump is within striking distance, believe it or not. I think this is going to be a swing state in the 2030s. People might laugh at that. I think it's going to age well. There's a lot of room to grow. And the whole Biden thing, his margin, he'll win the state again by a decent margin, but it's going to look more like 2016 than 2020. Republicans in the midterms did underratedly well in Delaware. Then you have Florida, where Donald Trump, he is currently up in the average by a likely margin, 5 to 10 points. This used to be a swing state. Biden campaign came out today and said they're pulling resources out of Florida. They understand the writing's on the wall. They have to play defense, but also Florida's become such a red stronghold. Then we have the state of Georgia, where the polls here, some polls fell out of the aggregate. Trump's lead was cut to 3.7. Five-way race, he leads by 5.7, but we're not going off that. So I think that you'll put Georgia in Trump's column, even though these are mainly, a lot of these are liberal polls. They're still showing Trump with a noticeable lead in the state of Georgia. State Republicans never thought they'd win again, but it seems like they have the upper hand this cycle. So then we can move on. We can go down here all the way to Idaho. That one is easy. Trump right there. Illinois, Biden. Latest poll, he's only up by 9. And the previous poll had him up by 20. We'll put it in the safe column just to be safe, no pun intended. Indiana and Iowa, both going to Trump by more than 10 points. The gold standard poll in Iowa is very telling, as Trump has a lead of close to 20. And Iowa, due to white religious depolarization, starting to vote more like the rest of the Great Plains as we know it. And there is a lot of carryover into certain parts of rural Wisconsin and Minnesota as well in that regard. But you look at Kansas, Trump up in Kansas by a safe margin, Kentucky and Louisiana by a safe margin as well. So you could fill these out. Donald Trump already, he's got 118. Then you go to the state of Maine. There's one poll out of Maine this year, actually 2. There's a new digital research poll. Donald Trump is leading both. He's up by one of them by 7. The other one he loses in the ranked choice voting. Such a scam, by the way. But nevertheless, we'll actually have to give Maine at large to Trump in the lean column, and the 2nd district safe, the 1st district in the safe blue column. So it's a split decision. I think Biden probably wins it still, but you never know, depending on how RFK Jr. performs. Maryland, that's safe blue. But again, margins are narrowing in the polls, which again, if that's true, maybe Virginia could be closer. We'll see. Massachusetts, that one easily safe. Biden, it's a total disaster up there in the Northeast. But what can I say? Michigan, there is an aggregate for Michigan. Donald Trump, he leads, not by much, but he leads. Polls in Michigan and Wisconsin have usually given Trump the short end of the stick anyways. So the fact that he's up at all, very good sign for Donald Trump in Michigan. But we're going to continue and move on, go down to the state of Minnesota. We've seen a little bit of a mixed bag here. Some of these polls are right-leaning. I'll put this one, given the recent data we have, it seems like you have a Trump +2, you have a Biden +6, and then a tie ball game. Honestly, average it out, lean, maybe you could argue tilt blue. So like I said, it's going to be closer, especially when you have more candidates in the mix, where Trump has led the last 2 polls, although they both tend to be a little bit more Republican favorable. So do keep that in mind. But then you have Mississippi, safe Republican. You have Missouri, safe Republican as well. And then you have Montana, safe Republican. Nebraska also safe Republican, including the 2nd district, which according to the one poll we have is lean. I don't know if that's going to hold up, but you have Montana, you have Nebraska, and then we're going to go down to Nevada, which is giving Donald Trump if you look at this, he's up by 4.2% in Nevada of all states, especially with the whole no taxes on tips thing. That could play out well. Big industry in Nevada. Genius political move by Donald Trump. Biden just does not know how to really counter it. Who knows? Even the unions are coping. They're like, well, we agree, but Trump is bad because he's a felon or something. Who knows? New Hampshire, the last few polls we've seen this year probably average out to it seems like Biden would be up by a lean margin, especially when you consider some of these other polls, the more recent one. They do factor in third parties, but again, it's a more realistic split where RFK Jr. is only getting 3%. He might get more than that in New Hampshire. But New Hampshire, we'll put it as lean Democrat for now based off of the polls we have. New Jersey, surprisingly only likely. Trump went to New Jersey for a rally, but I think it mainly had to do with Philadelphia. It was in the Philly metro. When Trump was at the rally in Philadelphia this week and he mentioned the rally, he had a lot of people cheering. They probably went to both, and they were from Pennsylvania. Beach area for a lot of Philly metro people for sure, over there in Wildwood by Atlantic City. You have New Mexico. We finally got a poll. It's a Democrat poll, but Biden is up by 7. The same poll had him up by 14 last time, so it does show a vast improvement. We'll see what happens when we get more polling. It could be closer. Who knows? Then you have New York, which the aggregate in New York, it's somewhere on RCP. It shows Trump down by just 7.5, which is crazy because at this stage in the game, you go to the national polls from 2020. At this point in time, Biden was leading by 10. So Biden is doing worse in New York this time than he was doing nationally last time, according to the polls. Isn't that interesting how it shakes out? Then you have North Carolina. Donald Trump leads in North Carolina currently as it stands by 5.8%. I don't know if he wins by that margin, but that would be enough to pull over the legendary Mark Robinson in North Carolina if it does stand. We'll wait and see for sure. But you got North Dakota. That one is going to be safe. Republican. You have Ohio, where recent polls, you had a poll out of Marist that I think was Trump by 8, and then you have some polls that have Trump up by double digits. So average it out, safe Republican, should be no problem in Ohio. Oklahoma, safe red, and then Oregon, we have safe blue. So we'll fill these two out. Already Trump at 210, Biden at 184. Pennsylvania, Trump has taken a surprising lead. I think the last time we did this video, or maybe 2 times ago, Donald Trump was in Pennsylvania. He was only, or he is actually losing it narrowly. But now he's up by nearly 3 points. And that is huge. I'm telling you, it's going to be decided, this election, by Eastern Pennsylvania. You heard it here first. And Biden got a little home area boost last time. I don't think he's going to have the same enthusiasm there, folks. I really don't. So you look at Pennsylvania, looking good for Trump. That is massive for Donald Trump. And then we go down here. We have more polls as well. Rhode Island is going to be safe blue and South Carolina safe red. So those will offset each other, although the latter is more electoral votes. And then we have the state of South Dakota and Tennessee. Both of those are going to be safe red. So Trump is inching closer to that magic number. Then you have Texas. Trump leads by, it seems like 8 to 9, which I think is around where the margin will be. So likely red. It's going to look just like 2016. Despite 8 more years of, immigration, whatever. It's all backfiring. The Democrats are overplaying their hand. Texas likely does turn some sort of a corner. And then we go down to the state of Utah, safe red. Primaries are there tomorrow. Get out and vote if you live in Utah for Staggs and Lyman. It's sad that the polls are showing both of them losing, given the fact that the opponents are just complete rhinos to the highest degree. But he already crossed the threshold. Then you have Virginia, where in the average in RCP, he's only down by a couple points. It's lean Democrat. And maybe Trump is going to go out there. I don't know, but it seems like there's a higher chance than before that Glenn Youngkin could be Trump's VP candidate. And if that's true, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. Could Virginia get even closer? He's popular there. Obviously, home state advantages. It's not everything, for sure, especially in terms of the VP. But you look at Virginia, yeah, I mean, there's a very, very good chance that he could be like that suburban salesman, help him out. But again, there are questions. You basically would be increasing his odds of being the nominee in 2028 when I think we could do a lot better. But who knows? It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out with Trump and his selection, but we'll see. Vermont, Biden is winning it easily. There's no surprise there whatsoever. Then you have the state of Washington, where, again, you look at the recent polling. There have been closer polls, but still, I mean, there's one outlier. The rest are safe blue. Even averaging it out, it would be probably safe blue. And then we have West Virginia, which is safe red. And then we have Wisconsin. If we look at Wisconsin here, again, polls usually underestimate Donald Trump by a lot. It's a dead heat tie, according to the RCP average, and the five-way actually has Trump up by 0.1. We're going to give it to Trump in the tilt column just based off of the fact that it does seem like he's up in this poll. And also you have the Quinnipiac outlier here. Biden's only led 2 polls there altogether that are RCP accredited, that is, in terms of the likely voter sample. We're going to give Wisconsin to Trump in the tilt column just barely. Although if the RCP average showed something else, we would have to have it as tilt blue. I still think Trump wins it regardless. And then you have the great state of Wyoming. Donald Trump leading 68-15. That's ridiculous, but it's true. So we have 2 states with no polling. D.C. and Hawaii will put in their 2020 designations, although I think Hawaii gets closer. D.C. still going to be safe blue. I don't think you even want to win D.C. But nevertheless, this is the map according to the polls. Donald Trump with a commanding 315 to 223 electoral vote victory. States like Virginia, Minnesota, they're in play. But again, you have to look at it from the flip side. It's looking great for Trump in the Sun Belt, but that Rust Belt, you need one of those 3 to win. The good news is for Trump, you need to win 1. For Biden, you need to win all 3. And if Trump goes out there, somehow pulls off Virginia, well, then he might not even need any of them, which is absolutely huge. May not even need Arizona so long as he gets Georgia and Nevada. But you're looking at this, very good for Trump overall. He's in a very good position for victory, but you got a long way to go. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.